Hi there, I'm Mark Lamb, a documentary and portrait photographer from the north of England who's been passionate about monochrome since 1972. I wasn't so much passionate about it in 1972, but it was all I could afford as colour was extremely expensive. But nowadays I prefer making monochrome. Cut. No, we'll keep going. This is my first time on YouTube, so it's all good for experience. It's actually pretty difficult sitting here facing a camera and knowing that you're facing potentially thousands of people who hopefully are interested in your style of photography. So newfound respect to all those people out there who do this day to day. I'll probably be dropping videos in about once every 2 weeks. The first one is going to be cut. I keep looking at the monitor as if I'm asking myself a question. Okay, cut for real this time. One thing I won't be doing on this channel is enthusing about cameras or being unenthusiastic about cameras, and neither will I be looking at how sharp lenses are and what I feel their bokeh is and all that other stuff that you hear so often. Really, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I enjoy being out on the pavement if I'm doing street photography. I love being in the studio. And it's the end result that matters to me. I don't care how it's got, either with an expensive camera or a cheapo. In fact, I've seen some magnificent photography done with cheap cameras like the Lomograph and others. How many cuts are we going to have in this one? I love it. Okay, so what I'm saying is we're not going to be centered on the gear. It's going to be about the photographs. So for my very first video, which this is, I'm proposing to show you a shoot that I did earlier on in the year. I think it was probably July when I visited London. I was there. The main reason I was there was to shoot some friends of mine who own a dance company, and I was actually down there for that. But in between the rehearsals, I slipped out into the city. Not quite as easy as it sounds, because we were in Docklands, so slipping into the city meant Docklands Light Railway, which is about a half an hour trip. But anyway, I managed to get some spare time in the city, and I shot about 500 pictures, I think, and then narrowed it down to some nice pictures that I think will go in my portfolio. So that's the idea of this first video, is to do exactly that. Go from pavement to portfolio, and hopefully examine some techniques and some opinions on the way. Here we go. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom. Take one. Hopefully there won't be very many more takes. These are the shots that I took on the trip to London, the 19th of July. And as you can see here, I arrived on the train and started shooting as soon as I got off the train, and as when I was in King's Cross Square. So then we went to the underground. You can see blah 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 going through. This is more underground, lots of underground. Then we got into the East End, piggybacked on a shoot that was taking place on the street there, Lots of lovely graffiti in the East End. That's Brick Lane. Carrying on, still Brick Lane, still Brick Lane. I love Brick Lane, just in case you're worried. Lovely curries down there, and lots of atmosphere. Then I was back on the Tube. Tube again. I love the Tube. There are so many people who are willing to actually take part in what you're doing. I find that 9 out of 10 people who I ask will say yes. So obviously we're not interested in all of these, and as you can see by the colour codings, neither was I. So if we get to the end, we'll see Hyde Park Corner. That was the last thing I did on that day. And oh no, it wasn't. I came down Oxford Street and went in, I think that was Selfridges. So, but as I said, we're not interested in all that, so we use the attributes to look at the things that we are interested in. So if I filter based on the rating, we go down to 3 stars, and already we've got a much better looking set of pictures. Yellow in this case I categorise as street photography, and the more focused portrait type shots, as you can see, I categorise in red. Usually with the person who I'm photographing being totally aware of what I'm doing, whereas the yellow, the street style shots are generally taken on the hoof. So we've come down here now to, what have we got, 40 odd shots there. So let's just have a look at these as we go then. So have a look at the yellow ones. These are the street ones. I'll just go through these, scrolling through. So Tube, obviously, that young man was very cooperative, and so was his mum. I really love that shot. That was an unaware shot, but I just love that young lady's style. I think these were Australians photographing themselves on the underground. Underground again. So remember, these are 3 star. These are not the ones that I've selected for portfolio. That's me with the camera. You can just about see me. Everybody in that picture to the right of me knew what I was doing. Brick Lane, a lot of hot futures down Brick Lane, especially in that shot. Great graffiti as well, and I love the light on this one. Yeah, my normal sort of shot, but I loved the image, and as a piece of art, it works. Usually I would have asked or put somebody in the frame, but this was like an abandoned yard. Well, not abandoned, but there was nobody there, and nobody to put in the shot, unfortunately. So a little reflection shot of a young lady with her bike, unaware again, unaware. I love the motion in that one. I think that was a 60th of a second, or maybe a 30th. No, it's more likely to be a 30th, judging by the movement. This one didn't quite come off, but I love it anyway because it's just the two sets of leopard print. Now I love this one. This could be the 1940s, the 1930s. It's I like shots that are timeless. I think Paul Reed, who's another photographer on, well, I say another one, he's much better than I am, on YouTube. he loves timeless shots, and I think you could categorise this as one of them. I just love the way this gent was totally relaxed. Baker Street, probably one of the best tube stations for photographs. The lighting in there is absolutely fantastic, and I was interested in this one particularly because the Arab gentleman and the scantily clad young women there. It's a bit of a contrast. I did actually follow the Arab gentleman and ask for his portrait, and he was from Oman, where I used to work, incidentally. Okay, so Baker Street, lovely shots. A few talking heads through windows. Not again, not 4-star stuff. And we'll keep going now. This one I absolutely love because the guy didn't know I was there, and I swear to God that it looks as though he's covering his face up, but this shot just says to me vampire, and I'm into vampires, as you will see from some coverage that I'll be doing later on in the year when I shoot the Whitby Goth Festival. I'll be doing a big feature on that. Okay, just a quick snapshot in the street. This timing is everything, isn't it? I just love this shot. It's of a moment, and that's of another moment. You know, the bus is going to Old Street, the 135, but as if you know London, you will probably guess that this is outside Liverpool Street Station, and this one is outside the Houses of Parliament. Once again, Houses of Parliament, and this is I think it's called Neal Street. It's an underpass that's specifically been handed over for use as graffiti, but not graffiti. Graffiti is wanton destruction, in my opinion. Street art is where it's at, and if you go to Neal Street, you'll find street art in abundance. It's an absolutely fantastic place. That's the same place. American lady looking at the art, and now we go on. We're in Hyde Park. I had a chat with this guy, and I couldn't work out where he was coming from. The smart people take drugs. That was a come on, and I don't think that was his message. And Satsang, only truth spoken here. You could imagine what that was, but if you spoke to him, you wouldn't agree. So I don't know what he is or why he's saying it, but that was Hyde Park, which is another good place to visit if you're there on a Sunday, because Speaker's Corner is quite well attended. So some shots from Speaker's Corner. In the old days, it used to be all sorts of things, but Speaker's Corner for me nowadays has come down to whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, and it's basically a huge haranguing match between different religions. Most of the time respectable, but the police do keep a constant presence there, as there are quite often scuffles amongst the crowd. So, and of course, it is unusually well natured. I haven't seen any trouble there since I've been going. and I've seen lots of interesting faces. So here we go. This is two differing opinions. I won't go into. I do know what they were arguing about, but I won't go into the whys and wherefores. But the chap holding the Holy Quran, he was the winner, so I think he's senior. That looks like it's from Selfridges, and I think that was. I can't remember where that was, but that was an unaware shot. But looks as though it's been posed. So that essentially is what we've got on the yellows. Next, we'll go and have a look at the reds. Okay, so here we are in Lightroom again with the red shots, which are usually portraits, and the people in them are pretty much always aware that they're having their photograph taken. So I was on the tube for quite a while with this guy. I had a 10-minute conversation with him, and he was very interested in the portrait project that I'm doing. More of which later. This young lady's from Brick Lane. She was very interested in having a picture taken. I must admit, a small amount of money did change hands. And this young lady was on the tube, happy to be pictured. Now this chap, I do actually know all the names of the people that I shoot, incidentally, because I pretty much always talk to them. But I don't really want to reveal the names in a public arena like YouTube. But this chap's from the Royal Hospital at Chelsea. He was on the. I think those steps are on the Hammersmith and City line. And I think that's Edgware Road. I'm not certain. It's the next stop up from Baker Street. Anyway, he was very pleased to be photographed. And actually, if you look in his which one is it? His left hand, you can see the card that I give to most of the people that I shoot, so that if they need to get in touch with me and ask for pictures, they can do so with the contact information on there. Next one. So these two were one of them's a goth and one isn't. I'll give you a guess as to which one is. They were at Edgware Road. So yes, I'm pretty certain now that the previous shot of the chap from the Chelsea Hospital, the Chelsea pensioner, he was at Edgware Road as well, because I remember taking this shot soon after. Hopefully I'm going to be meeting these guys in Whitby soon. They told me that they always go up for the Goth Festival, so I'll be seeing them then. This young lady was very helpful. I was quite surprised when she agreed. There are certain people who you think, no, they're not going to want to be photographed, and I must admit I put this young lady in that pigeonhole, but I ask anyway if I feel as though they're not going to be offended. So I was quite happy to get that one, and as you can see, that's at Baker Street as well. So I was quite busy at Baker Street. Hammersmith and City Line, if you're interested, it's a great platform, or great pair of platforms. This was in the East End. I can't remember exactly where, but the ubiquitous phone there. I just loved love this young lady's style. This was Brick Lane. As you can see, that was taken with quite a small aperture or a large aperture, depending on what you need. Large aperture f1.2, because the lady's body is totally out of focus. But as long as the eyes are in focus, that's good enough for me. In fact, I actually like that differential focus, and especially in close-up portraits, and you'll notice that quite a lot of my stuff is like that. This was a very elegant person. I didn't ask his pronouns. Well, I've said his there, so I hope he's not going to be offended. But I think he was probably he's probably a them, they. Very, very elegantly dressed, and very pleased to cooperate in the photography. Again, this is of the moment. This is still outside Liverpool Street. Sometimes you just get some great pictures in the same area, and you can't decide between them. So I really like this one, as well as the one where he's silencing his own lips with the young lady. This one was taken in Hyde Park. And so was this. So you have the Muslims in the background, probably somewhere, and then you've got the Christians with their Bibles. And interestingly enough, if you zoom in on this, you can read every word in that Bible. It's quite amazing. Now, this lady, I don't think wanted to be photographed initially, but I talked around and I showed her the shot, and she was fine with it. So there we go. Now, this young lady definitely did not want to be photographed when I first approached her, and I got quite a few shots of her with a hand in front of her face. But this is a shot that I've always wanted to take. So I spent about half an hour talking to her about the clothing and her reasons for dress, and gradually she came round, and by the end of our conversation she was really happy to have this picture taken, and she did contact me afterwards and was very pleased with the results. So there you go. Just as a warning, I wouldn't approach Muslim women unless you've got a very good reason, or you're good at the chat, shall we say. So be prepared to spend a lot of time talking to someone if you want a shot that you know they're going to be sensitive about. Basically, take care whenever you're shooting people, and make sure that you don't offend them. That's the last red we've got there. So I'm thinking we're probably pretty much at the end. And of all the shots that I took on this day, this is the only one, as you can see down here, this is the only one that I marked 5 stars. So this shot will be going into my portfolio. Thanks very much for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed my my very first attempt at a YouTube video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.